How much should you spend when hiring a DJ? How can you make sure he is the right one? Hiring salesmen versus hiring DJs. How to avoid paying thousands of dollars yet getting the value of a Craigslist DJ. What are the average DJ rates? Are you looking for a professional salesman or a professional DJ? First of all, it's very important to understand the difference between the two. Most DJ companies get a lot of business because they are strong in sales. The people who run these companies tell their clients very professionally exactly what they want to hear, and the clients often choose and book their wedding DJ even before meeting him. These big DJ companies charge their clients thousands of dollars and pay their DJs about 10% of what they make, which is between $100 and $300 per event. The client often ends up paying too much for a low-budget DJ, poor equipment, and bad customer service. The equipment some of these companies use is often very old and unreliable. Oftentimes, companies will show off their gigantic speakers and amplifiers in order to impress their client. However, modern technology no longer requires large surface area, and two modern speakers can now do the job of four outdated ones. In the meantime, they would take up far less space and look a lot nicer. Therefore, while some people believe that the bigger the speakers and amplifiers are, the better the sound would be, they often end up with a cheap and plastic sound that cuts the ears. Furthermore, many of those so-called DJs don't even know how to beat match music or simply adjust the sound and microphone levels and frequencies, not to mention other possible surprises, such as unsuitable attire, wrong playlist, songs with profanity, poor announcements, etc. You would often be impressed with their nice office and professional booking approach, but in the end you might end up paying a lot of money and getting the equivalent of a Craigslist DJ. Even if you still decide to go with the big company, make sure to review the contract, and before you sign it, meet the person who will be playing at your wedding, not just the owner of the company or the salesperson. If the business is smaller, it doesn't mean it's worse, and my advice would be to focus on those DJs who come from a musical background, not from car sales. Now I'm talking about live musicians, singers, artists, DJs, sound engineers, music producers, music journalists, etc. They are the ones who are in the business because of music, and they are more likely to deliver an excellent service. According to current studies, people spend only about 8% of their wedding budget on entertainment, while the importance of their wedding success depends 70% on entertainment. Almost all the brides regret not spending more time and money on their wedding reception entertainment, while almost all the guests consider entertainment to be the most memorable part of a wedding. All of this means that going for big name companies or simply trying to find the cheapest DJ is not a great idea and can often lead to disappointment and frustration. In the meantime, I would not recommend to judge by the price. Sometimes you can find more value for $800 than for $1,500, and you should remember that the one who talks best is not necessarily the one who works best. When it comes to hiring a DJ, I would recommend that you do it in advance as early as possible, preferably a few months before your event, and start looking in the middle price category, which is between $700 and $1,000 for 4 hours of DJ service. Look for professionalism, dedication, honesty, trust, talent, respect, and punctuality. Try to check out their music mixes, pictures, videos, testimonials, and make sure they are honest, listen to you carefully, and answer all of your questions. It's a common practice for most DJs to charge approximately 50% of the total price when the contract is signed. This reserves the date of your event and makes them turn down other offers. Thank you everyone for listening. My name is DJ Charlie. I'm the owner, founder, and operator of Dago Disco Entertainment, an established mobile DJ company based in San Diego, California. Feel free to leave your comments or visit me online at dagodiscoentertainment.com. Thank you.